Riddle of Fire is so bad, but in all the best ways.
Hello. Who are you?
Oh, just a fire fairy.
I think she's cursed. Maybe she's blessed. Maybe she's both.
Riddle of Fire played at the Cannes Directors Fortnight and also played at the Toronto International Film Festival back in the fall, and is scheduled for a limited release this April. It is a very interesting film. It's a neo-fairytale full of imagination and nostalgia, and when I say that it's a bad film in all the right ways, what I mean is the film knows what it's doing. The film knows what it is. It's not attempting to have these crazy action sequences that are taken seriously. The line delivery is not intended to be delivered in a technically perfect fashion. This is all understood, and it adds to the film instead of taking away from it. Essentially, it becomes more endearing because of its flaws, and it's one of those films that could easily become a cult favorite. This movie comes from first-time feature director Weston Razooli, who also wrote the film, and you can see his passion for the project on screen. This is like a movie that you would want to make with your friends when you're a kid, although maybe not with such a cohesive vision. In many ways, the making of this film is a sign that small indie projects do still have a life. Riddle of Fire was shot on 16mm Kodak film, which gives it this just warm and fuzzy feeling that fits so perfectly with the fairy tale adventure fantasy story that's being told. Essentially, we follow these three children, Hazel, Jody, and Alice, as they go on a series of adventures, first in an attempt to steal a gaming system, but then ultimately leading to their biggest adventure to date, kind of a search for this speckled egg. I won't go into too many of the specifics, but it leads them into the forests of Wyoming, searching for this egg that was stolen from them. And the scenes here in nature are some of the most beautiful. Again, the kind of filmic nature of how this was shot lends itself to this warm and fuzzy feeling, and then the colors in the forest are brought out, are exaggerated. The grass is greener than anything you would normally see. There's these comic-like red mushrooms, and it all contributes to this fantasy world that the children are living in. And the performances from the children are, on one hand, awful, and on the other hand, brilliant. If you are looking at it through a classically trained actor's lens, yeah, they're pretty bad. But again, the direction here is clear. There is an understanding that that is not the intent. We're not looking for pitch-perfect performances, and in fact, the performance from the character called Jody, played by Skylar Peters, is probably the best of the film, and it's pretty objectively the worst. The line delivery, the timing is terrible. The lines themselves, as they are written, are often so cheesy, but it works. Again, it's one of those things that when a director has awareness of the project that they're creating, they can create it to its fullest potential. I recently reviewed one of the largest films of the year so far, Roadhouse, and that's an example of something that goes the opposite direction, where they can't figure out whether it's supposed to be a serious action thriller or a satirical action comedy, and it ends up kind of failing to fulfill either role. But in Riddle of Fire, they know that they're creating a fun, nostalgia-filled adventure with these kids, and the imperfections just elevate the picture. There's a clear ode to old 70s and 80s pictures, like Escape from Witch Mountain, for example. Pretty direct comparisons to that picture specifically, and that again contributes to this air of nostalgia. Even the products, the vehicles, there are a range of things from years past combined with iPhones and things from the present day, so there is this kind of intermingling of eras that works quite well. I mentioned the visuals a little bit in the forest, and while it's most evident in those nature scenes, really everything has kind of a glow to it, which can be seen kind of as the lens through which these children view the world, right? They're going on life or death adventures, perhaps figuratively, perhaps literally, but regardless, there is this glow to the way that they see the world versus how many grown adults are almost viewing things through digital log footage with very little color or range. Before I go too much further, I should probably say that not everyone is going to love this. It is certainly not without its flaws. There are pretty egregious continuity errors at certain points, but again, it just depends on how you approach the project. For me, I found myself smiling through the duration of the film. Most notably, perhaps, was one of my favorite dance sequences in recent years, probably my favorite since the opening credits from After Yang. I thought it was pretty brilliant and perfectly executed. Again, maybe not for everyone. It has a certain style, a certain flair, a certain tone that probably won't resonate with all audiences. At the end of the day, these kids go on adventures, they swear, they steal, they break the law in more ways than one, all to go home and play a video game. If you're looking for the little indie picture that could, Riddle of Fire might just be for you. If you watched the video, thanks. As always, do the like thing, the comment thing, the subscribe thing. I am told that they all help me out, so very much appreciated, and when I post another video, you can watch that one too. Thanks.